I'm about to show you the single most bullish thing I've seen for Tesla this year as a long-term investor. And I'm strongly convinced that this is one of the reasons why Tesla stock is trading higher than at any point in the last 3 years specifically. I think most investors still have not understood what just happened. And a lot of the Tesla bears are staying absolutely quiet. I'm not hearing anything from them. This video from AI Driver, who I consider to be the most accurate person when it comes to describing the current capabilities of FSD. I have never seen him exaggerate. I've never seen him undersell FSD either. He's just precisely correct exactly what the capabilities of FSD currently are. And I watched this whole video, and it's a long video. And it's the most bullish thing I've seen for Tesla this whole year. AI Driver in the video said that FSD has progressed so quickly and so much now that he's actually concerned about the future of his channel, which is only focused on Tesla's FSD. From everything I've seen the beta testers say and show us, it does seem that Elon Musk is correct and V13 is actually about 500% better, if not more.
And you can see there's a stop sign in the navigation data, but it's not for us. It's actually a stop sign for the road off to our left. And for the first time, it correctly does not stop and instead uses the yield sign properly. I think every other time we've been through that intersection, the car has come to a full stop because it thought it had to control for that stop sign that was facing us. But this one seems to understand that it's a yield. And the most interesting thing, I think, is the stop sign was in the navigation route. So it literally ignored the navigation data and obeyed the sign. Pretty wild. Little awkward interaction with the pedestrian up here. You can see this other driver just makes sure she's going to stop. And then even after they pass and she still doesn't have the right of way, she keeps taking a little steps towards the road. Doesn't actually get to the road, but just taking little micro steps towards it, and confused the car for a second there, but it got through just fine.
When I saw Omar say that FSD V13 is a bigger step change than V12 from V11, I was skeptical about that. And then I heard AI Driver say that as well. And then I watched the whole video from AI Driver, and I do have to say, I'm extremely impressed. I don't know if the difference is really that huge, but they are saying it and they believe it. And AI Driver does have good credibility. So there's definitely a reason why he would say that. I mean, just look at some of these clips and just look at what he's saying.
Looking at the end of this road, I figured there was approximately a 0% chance full self-driving was going to be able to do this one on its own. You can see there's a curb off to our left, the gate's not open to our right, and this is just a straight dead end. I know a lot of human drivers personally that I know for a fact would not be able to turn around on a road like this. And without skipping a beat, full self-driving shifts itself into reverse and shimmies its way out of here, doing about a 10-point turn Austin Powers style. Absolutely unbelievable stuff here. You can also see the speed of these shifts is really amazing. The car actually shifts itself into reverse and goes forward before it comes to a full stop. So while it's still rolling 1 mile an hour, it's doing the shifts. I wish you could see the look on my face right now.
Also, Chuck Cook was just on Farzad's channel, and he also believes that Tesla deploying robotaxis in 2025 in constrained locations, that's actually very likely now. And Chuck confirms that this V13 version is indeed a huge improvement over V12 and that it has no regressions. Everything is just better. But he didn't really say that it's a bigger improvement than V12 compared to V11, but he is incredibly optimistic about Tesla's ability to solve full self-driving. So the feedback from beta testers so far is overwhelmingly positive. Now, does this mean that it's already perfect? Does this mean that it's already solved and it's safer than human driving? Definitely not. Elon said that we are trending towards a 500% improvement for this new version, not being safer than a human driver. Now, a lot of this is possible because Tesla is using hardware 4 for this specifically, and they are using these 5-megapixel cameras, which are only available on hardware 4 vehicles. So these new cars actually see a lot more, and they are trained on data that does have a lot more data inside all of this video data. And we know that Tesla's Cybercab is going to have AI 5. And you have to remember, this is just basically the first sort of public release of V13. We are not going wide yet, but likely we are going to go wide soon with V13 release. So even without upgrading the hardware of Tesla's vehicles right now, FSD V13, I believe, is still going to get noticeably better with future updates. And we know that Tesla is still upgrading its supercomputer training cluster, and AI 5 is coming out, and then AI 6 is going to come out. So there's now a clear path towards solving FSD. And Chuck Cook said in his appearance on Farzad's channel that our eyes, we basically have like a 50 megapixel camera, and right now Tesla's cars only have 5 megapixel cameras in their hardware 4 vehicles. So there's still many ways that we know for sure we can improve upon. At this point, to say that FSD is not going to be safer than human driving in the not so distant future, I think is absolutely insane. Keep in mind though, I am a long-term investor. So when I say not in a too distant future, instead of meaning decades, I mean less than a decade. And in this specific case, it's looking like it's going to be substantially less than that. I mean, if you just listen to what Tesla is saying, next year in 2025, which is basically now almost, we are going to see actual Tesla robotaxis being deployed and giving paid rides to people. And with V13 being out, I can see how that can actually happen now. At this point, of course, it is not safer than human driving, and I tried really hard to find any issues with this version. And here's what is still an issue: cross traffic. And Omar explains what happened here. And this was a takeover, although he wasn't 100% sure that it was needed, but he took over anyway. He explains, I did have my first V13 takeover trying to turn left onto PCH in Malibu. There was high speed cross traffic with cars fast approaching, and it decided to go for it, but I didn't feel comfortable given the oncoming cars. It might have made it. Notice how Omar is using the word might, not it would have made it, but it was so challenging even I struggled with it and got honked at by the oncoming cars. And Chuck Cook in his appearance on Farzad's channel also said that high-speed cross traffic is something that you still gotta watch out for with this version. And then I found this part from this video from Chuck, and FSD did have an issue here. I don't think it's actually a serious issue, but there was definitely a disengagement which was absolutely required in this case. Take a look.
And then you see we've got the right-hand turn up here in for our... Okay, so take over immediately. I didn't expect that, other than to say the sun was shining in my eyes just before that happened. I'm leaving this running just so you can see what's going on. I've got hazards on and the car stopped. So I don't know that this was a crash. I'm just going to tap the brake. And then, did you see that? Autopilot aborted, camera visibility. So it definitely was that sun coming straight into my eyes. Must have hit these forward cameras and said, not doing that.
And then on the appearance with Farzad, Chuck said that the rest of the drive was great, no issues with the rest of the drive, and that's a 39-minute video. I'm not worried at all about this issue with the sun. There are many ways to fix it, so Tesla will definitely handle it. But V13, and specifically this video, is the single, and look at how well it handles this. This is the single most bullish thing I've seen for Tesla as a long-term investor this whole year, and we had some really bullish things happen to Tesla this year. This was absolutely impressive, and this is a game changer. Now, how will the market respond to this? That remains to be seen, but so far the market is responding to this very positively. Tesla stock is up, and we are within reach of Tesla's all-time high. And look at this. Replit CEO says Tesla FSD V13 is so good that I basically stopped driving. And the praise for Elon Musk just keeps coming. For example, here's the CEO of Citadel, who just said Elon Musk is one of the greatest entrepreneurs of our lifetime, and he is about to solve full self-driving.
The car just goes right into the median and scoots itself far enough up to where it's not blocking traffic from behind, waits for the cars approaching in the oncoming lanes, and then proceeds immediately. I mean, what do I even say? U-turn in the navigation route directly ahead of us at this next intersection, and I mean, just by far the best U-turn I have ever felt the car do before.
This is some really good news. Per Federal Highway Association, Tesla's charging standard is going to be the federal standard. We will never have to deal with this outdated design ever again in the United States of America. Tesla stock today and yesterday, it's up, and year to date, it's actually up 50%. And AJ doubles down on his $600 price target for the next 12 months, and he will actually go on Brighter with Herbert to discuss his price target in detail. And the Bank of America just raised their Tesla stock price target to $400 from $350. They say optimism is real and development is poised to accelerate. They also tried FSD V13 and they were very impressed with it. Also, Fubon raises their Tesla stock price target to $472 for the next 12 months from $330, and that's the highest price target for Tesla stock on the street currently. Bank of America is probably going to increase their price target again, assuming that they actually mean what they say, because largely it was because of FSD. They said it was incredibly good, though they did experience some challenging scenarios. FSD still handled it pretty well. And Jim Cramer is saying it's about to go to $500 per share. So people on Wall Street, analysts, they are getting more and more and more bullish, but that's largely because Tesla stock is going up and up and up. And these analysts, they are just catching up to what Tesla stock is doing. But a lot of these price target increases specifically mention FSD, and in the case of Bank of America, Optimus. But Jim Cramer is indeed convinced that Tesla stock is going to go much higher. I think it probably goes to $500. I see nothing in between. The president-elect is telling everyone basically Tesla is going much higher, is his opinion. Tesla also told Bank of America analyst John Murphy during his recent Giga Texas visit that soon Tesla's FSD supervise will require an intervention only once every 10,000 miles. Just for comparison to Waymo. Waymo's robotaxi service operated before getting to one intervention every 17,000 miles. A milestone Tesla said it believes it could achieve shortly with its growing AI compute. 50,000 H100 chips were installed and active at the end of October 2024. And the leap that we have seen from V12 to V13, it's huge. So there's definitely quite a good chance that Tesla is going to be right about that prediction. And Bank of America also said that Tesla is aiming at having 1,000 Optimus bots working in factories by the end of next year, basically by 2025. Currently, Optimus is used by Tesla to sort 4680 cells with no intervention. Also, Bitcoin just crossed 100,000 for the first time. Currently, as I'm recording, Bitcoin is sitting at 101,700 USD. And if you watched every single one of my videos, you remember that I said if it drops 80% from its all-time high, I'm very interested in buying Bitcoin, but I decided to just stay in Tesla stock because Tesla is backed by profits. And what is Bitcoin backed by? Well, not by profits, not by future dividends, and not by Elon Musk. Also, Bitcoin never dropped 80% from its all-time high, but it was so close. It would have been an amazing investment. But hey, I bought more Tesla stock when it dropped, and that turned out extremely well too. While everyone else was panicking, I was saying this is a massive buying opportunity. But to all of you who invested in Bitcoin, a big shout out goes to you. And to those who have not sold Tesla stock and stayed in during this whole time, an even bigger shout out goes to you. Because also we as Tesla stock investors, we actually hold some Bitcoin, not that much relative to how much the company itself is valued at, but Tesla does hold a little bit of Bitcoin. Tesla's Bitcoin currently is worth an estimated $1.2 billion after the recent bull run, up from $415 million earlier this year. As I have said many times earlier though, I am more of a conservative investor, so I personally like to have my investments backed by people, companies, profits, tangible things. I like Bitcoin, but I like Tesla stock a lot more in the long term. It doesn't mean that Tesla stock is going to actually outperform Bitcoin, but what I believe it means is in terms of when you adjust the investment for risk, I believe Tesla stock is going to be much better. And looking at what Tesla is actually working on, products that, Bitcoin doesn't have. A lead engineer of Tesla's Robotaxi, Eric, he just said it will have roughly 50% fewer parts overall than the Model 3. Additionally, the Cybercab's body structure will have 60% fewer components compared to the Model Y.
There's a couple of reasons why it's 2 seats. One is 82% of miles driven today are with 2 or fewer passengers. This product is meant to be of extreme efficiency, and we work really hard to deliver that. And the efficiency isn't just on an energy consumption basis, it's on the concept of cleaning. It's also on the concept of reliability and service as well. So 2 seats unlocks a lot of opportunity aerodynamically. It also means we cut the part count of Cybercab down by a substantial margin. We're going to be delivering a car that has roughly half the parts of Model 3 today. It also means when you need to clean the car as a rideshare asset, you really don't have to worry about navigating multiple doors, multiple seats. You really just have what looks like a bench seat, easy to clean automatically, and you have very few pockets of space where you're going to have, certain things that are obviously not going to be desirable to maintain on a daily basis. And you can kind of see the aerodynamic advantage by the track difference between the front and rear of the car. So you can see how the track is narrowed at the back. It really gives us a great aerodynamic shape. It helps us obviously get to the efficiency targets that we want. And some of the team tonight will be able to talk more about the efficiency of the product with you. This car runs on V13, which obviously is now going wide to the larger public. At least it will be in the coming weeks, hopefully.
And the Cybercab from Tesla will be the first vehicle to use this new Unboxed manufacturing process. And there's this graphic which explains the differences. This is the traditional car assembly. Number one, doors and panels are added to a traditional car body along with some structural assembly. Number two, the car is painted and the doors are removed to allow greater access during final assembly. And number three, final assembly of the car takes place. The number of people able to work on the car at any one time is restricted due to limited access. But with Tesla's Unboxed process, everything goes faster because look at this. GigaPress castings allow for assemblies to become part of the structure of the car, making modular units that more people or robots can work on at the same time in parallel sub-assemblies, making everything go much faster. A simpler way to think about how the old process would work is imagine that there is just one car here, and this car is just going through the line. But here, you could have multiple things going on at the same time because you're working on 3 different things at the same time just here, and then there's more stuff that's happening in other places too. But we don't really care about speed that much. If we were able to produce cars at, let's say, 25% of the current speed, but if we were able to produce them much cheaper, that would be more important. What really matters here is that this whole process is going to reduce costs. And when it comes to speed and efficiency, it's not that just Tesla's manufacturing process creates better manufacturing speed, but also looking at Tesla's FSD product, it's faster than Waymo. For example, here, Waymo took 43 minutes to get to the destination, while Tesla took 15 minutes, 40 seconds. Both had no interventions, of course. And it was the exact same drive. Also, Waymo just announced that they are launching in Miami in 2026, actually, so they are expanding a little bit more. And here's the number of rides that Waymo provides. So 6 months ago, 50,000 rides a week. 3 months ago, 100,000 rides a week. 1 month ago, 150,000 rides a week. And last week, they provided 175,000 rides. But the question is, how much money are they making? Or let me rephrase that question. How much money are they losing? We are also getting some news from China. This video, I believe, is an old video. But what we are hearing from China is that Tesla is preparing to register FSD in China and selling it as a monthly subscription and will potentially license the technology out to other Chinese automakers, according to many sources in China. So there are a lot of rumors floating about this. And what's becoming more and more clear every day that Elon's companies are going to win this AI race. I mean, xAI is planning to expand its Colossus supercomputer in Memphis to now house 1 million GPUs. And if you didn't know, Colossus was already the largest supercomputer in the world with 100,000 GPUs. And that news is coming out at the same time as we are now finding out that xAI just raised another $6 billion. All of that $6 billion, by the way, should have been from Tesla. Why hasn't that happened yet? Has not been officially explained, but if Tesla would have invested into xAI when the idea was first floated, that investment would have already multiplied by a lot. Sam Altman was just interviewed and he says that Elon Musk, specifically XAI, is a serious competitor to ChatGPT and OpenAI. And this is coming from a guy who took OpenAI, a nonprofit, and is now trying to turn that into a for-profit company. But Elon Musk is trying to put a stop to this. He sort of said this officially. Here's another win for Elon Musk. President-elect named David Sachs, who is a very close ally of Elon Musk, as a White House AI and crypto czar. Yesterday, Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, together they run the Doge department, met with members of Congress. Lil Lex was also spotted at Capitol Hill, and I think that's a face that you make when you ask a government employee, so what did you get done last week? Oh, and check this out. I really like this. The new Tesla precipitation radar map includes a forecast animation so you can have a better idea of what the weather will be like at your destination when you arrive. This is great. I don't view Consumer Reports very highly because things that they did to Tesla. Whoa. But anyway, they are saying that Tesla ranks number 3 when it comes to owner satisfaction. Number 1 is supposedly Rivian and number 2 is BMW. Tesla also ranks number 2 in ownership cost, number 2 in most satisfying driving behind Porsche, and number 2 in cabin storage. Whoa. Look at all of these Giga castings at Giga Texas. There's a whole bunch of them. It's just a sea of Giga castings. I don't think I've seen this many before in one single place. Important context here though is that the lines are closed for 3 days, so that's part of reason at least why these are piling up. Lucid has finally made its first Gravity SUV, which is rolling off the production line here. Well, the gravity still remains really strong for Lucid to go bankrupt. They need to resist that gravity better. Do not underestimate the ability of Lucid to reach new lows over and over and over again. If you zoom out a little bit more, it's just one long ride to the bottom. Honda is making some claims. They have plans for 2040. In 2040 or after 2040, they say, their EVs will go as far as 776 miles on a single charge, but that's a long time from now. Bad news for Volkswagen just doesn't stop. Unions increased VW strikes in Germany and planned 4-hour strikes during all shifts across all the large German factories. So their output is going to drop significantly this month, which is usually, by the way, the best month for automakers. Elon Musk also made a pretty big move here by making Grok free, which is basically like ChatGPT. And this really describes Elon's character so well. Elon said they are right. Both Sam Altman and Jeff Bezos were probed today if they feared Elon abusing relationship with the president-elect to benefit his competitive position. And both of them said they didn't think that's how Elon rolls. They have no fear of that. And both of them, keep in mind, are rivals of Elon Musk, direct rivals. Jeff Bezos with his rocket company and Sam Altman with his OpenAI company. That's it for today's Tesla stock news. I believe Tesla stock is going to $1,000, and then after that, well beyond that, and Tesla's all-time high is now within reach. We are so close to it. Secretly, I sort of hope that we drop further from here because I want to buy Tesla stock at much cheaper prices, but I know many of you just want Tesla stock to explode, and that is certainly possible. And eventually, I believe Tesla stock is going to $1,000. So those who hold Tesla stock long-term, do not sell, will be greatly rewarded in the long term. Oh, and also check this out. I was about to finish the video, but then Tesla stock just jumped. As I'm recording this, Tesla stock is up 5%, which is actually Tesla's all-time market cap high. There was some dilution because there was stock given to employees. The price per share is lower than the all-time price of the stock, but the market cap is actually now at its all-time high, which is sitting at $1.22 trillion. I'm not sure exactly what happened here. The stock just jumped. Maybe there's some news that's going to come out later and someone already knows about the news, or maybe someone is just buying because they have also saw the video from AI Driver and they decided, you know what, we need to buy as much Tesla stock as we possibly can because this is big. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on Monday.